Welcome to Wine Road, the wine, when, and where of northern Sonoma County. I'm your host, Marcy Gordon, with Beth Costa, Executive Director of the Wine Road.
Thanks to Ron Rubin, we're able to keep our podcast rolling along. The financial support of River Road Family Vineyards and Winery allows us to keep recording, keep sipping wine, and keep sharing stories with our listeners. Check out their website at riverroadvineyards.com and explore their Chardonnay, as well as a finely crafted Pinot Noir from the Russian River Valley. That's riverroadvineyards.com. And hey, thanks, Ron, for allowing us to make this show happen.
Welcome to episode 249. Today our guest is Damy Tamburrino, and he's Director of Direct-to-Consumer and Hospitality at Fopiano Vineyards. Welcome, Damy. Nice to have you.
Thank you. I'm happy to be here.
Yeah, I'm super excited. We have worked together for different wineries for years and years and years and years.
Yeah, that's the truth.
Something like that. So
a long-term relationship.
A long-term relationship. There is so much happening at Fopiano right now. It's every time I stop by, there's something that's new and that's just been, revamped. So tell us about what is going on there, what has been done in the last, year or so.
Yeah, it's the winery was purchased by Courtney Benham of Martin Ray Winery. He owns it, and he's got a really deep background in wine business. And he started off as a negociant in San Francisco, and him and his brother started Blackstone Winery too.
Oh yeah,
Oh, nice.
And so then they split up, and after they sold the Blackstone to Constellation, and just recently, a year and a half ago, he purchased Fopiano Vineyards from the Fopianos, and they still live on the property. And there's been a ton of renovation, mostly landscaping. And we have a huge grass area now with a beautiful arbor that we can hold large parties, events, dinners, weddings, whatever we like.
You really noticed that when
Oh
I
my
was going. I
gosh.
hadn't been in Dry Creek for a
Right.
while, and I went, "Wow, what's
Yeah.
going on there?"
Right,
It's
yeah.
it's so it really pops.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, like last weekend was wonderful. We had children out there playing with Frisbees. And so it's a real family-oriented.
Yeah.
Yeah, it looks beautiful.
Yeah, it's really nice.
And the what was the cellar looks like an event center that's kind of happening. Or
Yeah, it was originally the bottling room with a lab, and they took all that stuff out and just opened it up and put some nice bathrooms in there, and it's just a big event space now.
Mm-hmm.
And eventually it'll be remodeled, painted, things
Yeah,
like that, but
right.
that's all coming after
Right.
the landscaping.
right, the landscaping looks amazing. Yeah, you notice it as soon as you drive. It's on Old Redwood Highway, so it's very easy to find right off the 101. And if you live here, you notice it as soon as you drive by. Wow.
Yeah, I pulled my head to
Yeah.
the side, and then I thought it wasn't Fopiano anymore. I thought it was something new
Yeah,
because it's so it's really dynamic. It looks wonderful.
So you're going to continue to promote the Petit Sirah that Fopiano's been known for, or are things changing that way with the wine that they're producing, or?
Well, with Courtney and his negociant background, we're able to create more wine. So we have a Dry Creek Zin now, and Petit Sirah is definitely going to be our focus. We still have the old vine, Jana's Vineyards, which is, I think it's close to 50 years old. It's an historic vineyard now.
Oh, nice.
And then we have some other Petit Sirah planted around the property as well.
So it sounds like you're expanding the Fopiano legacy with new items in the portfolio. What's new that we could expect?
We've got a new Alexander Valley Cabernet,
Nice.
Wow.
and that kind of falls back to my old days when I worked in Alexander Valley for 18 years. And then we also have renamed a couple of the vineyards. Like one of our best reserve Pinot Noir vineyard is now called Violetta, which is a pretty name, and it refers to
Sounds
light
beautiful.
purple, right?
Yes.
So
Yeah.
it's purple.
Violetta. I like that.
Yeah. And what else have we got going on? Oh, we made a beautiful Vermentino this year. Our Rosé is very French in style, very light and refreshing, not overbearing and strawberry.
Provençal style.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yes.
Nice. I got to come over and taste that.
So last year I bought a sparkling that you had just released. Are you continuing to do sparklings?
I don't know if that's in the future for us right
Okay.
now because it's such a long-term process. But we still have a little bit of, actually a red, Pinot Noir sparkling red.
It was fantastic.
It was fun. It's a fun one.
They let me taste it, and then I had to buy some.
That's the point.
I'm like, that was not. I was dropping something off. It was going to be a quick in and out. Then it became longer. So I think it would be exciting to be where you're at right now because there's just so much going on.
Yeah, it's really. I mean, I got just this morning. I got an email from the Santa Rosa Symphony, and they want to do one of their series here at Fopiano.
Oh, nice.
Oh my gosh, that will be awesome.
It'd be fun, yeah. I don't. It's not the entire symphony. It's like a reduced size of it, but it would be like a sunset evening.
So
thing.
out on the lawn with the sun setting out over the valley.
Well, that sounds wonderful.
That would be amazing.
Yeah.
So what's new in terms of experiences? When I come to the winery, do I need an appointment, or what happens? I come in and there's a lineup for the day, or take me through what I could expect.
Yeah, so when you walk into the tasting room, we do flights of wine as opposed to, I mean, we do table service and everything like that, but we do flights of wine. So you get to sit down on your own with your partner or whoever you're there with and go through the wine slowly and with less interruptions from the tasting room staff.
That's a very nice way to experience it because then it's very personalized, and then you have the flights, and it's also sometimes cumbersome when you're serving several different people. Like, what wine are you on? What wine are you on? Now you're just sit down, boom, and you've got them.
Right.
And you can just take them and retaste as you wish.
Yeah, it's wonderful. I love it. I think it's a great way of doing it. The only thing is that, we can't present the bottle like we used to do, but it's more informal and it's really allows for that family feel. So people bring their families or they bring their dogs. So we're dog friendly. And we also allow people to still bring their picnics. So we're
you
more
cover
like
all the bases.
Kind of like a park.
Yes.
Well, really being able to do the picnic because more and more wineries don't. Or the picnic areas for wine club members only, or for there's different restrictions for them.
And it looks like a park.
Yeah, and you're in the vineyard the entire time, so it's amazing.
Oh, that's nice.
Well, and with the flight, you can take it at your pace.
Yeah,
I mean, you can really enjoy where you're at. It's not a race, and so to just be able to sit back and relax and look at where you're at and let your kids play.
I think that's a nice way too because you really get dropped down into the experience of wine. Yes. I think that leads to more sales because you just have this very particular experience. You find your palate, what you like, and I'm on taking some home.
Taking it all in.
That's right.
I love it.
I remember being a child going to Buena Vista with my folks.
Oh my gosh.
So and we would picnic all the time and we would sit there all day long and I just thought it was really fantastic. And so we're child friendly, dog friendly, so on.
That is great.
I don't make New Year's resolutions, but I always write down things I want to accomplish or do. And one of my things is I want to go picnicking at wineries. I live here, and I never do that. And it's like, isn't there nothing better than a picnic?
I know.
And in one of our great, beautiful settings here in the region, it's just, why don't I do that? It's like so silly, but that's my goal.
That's what,
as soon as it stops raining.
With the last show that we had done a couple weeks ago, talking with Sydney and picnicking with her and her sisters.
Yes.
Every time I do that, I think, why do I do this once a year?
Right.
I mean, I live here. It is amazing.
And bring your little tablecloth, make an event out of it. Make it special. And it's so great when wineries allow for that. So I'm all for the picnics in 2026.
Okay. Well, if there's a mission, there you go.
Yeah, I'm on a mission.
So you have been in the wine biz for a long, long time. So what first brought you along to the wineries?
To the winery business? Well, I started off in retail in Berkeley. And the wine shop that I worked at focused mostly on fraternities for kegs. That
is awesome.
And then also faculty, we would sell a lot of wine. So back then we had maybe 8 wineries on the shelf. And our import section was huge. That's how I learned about wine. And then we put in a wine bar, probably one of the first wine bars in Berkeley. Can't say it was the first. But then I went to work for Liquor Barn. I got hired by Safeway to go work at Liquor Barn. And I spent 8 or 10 years there. And I always followed this one guy around. His name was Steve Boone. And then I went to work for Cost Plus Wine Shop in San Francisco. And there is where I met Courtney Benham, so we've known each other for a long time.
Oh, my gosh. What are the odds of that's a full circle?
Yeah,
wow.
It's a full circle. Absolutely. And then after Cost Plus, I went to work at Oakville Grocery in Oakville. So I got my feet wet in Napa Valley.
Yeah.
And after that, I went back to where Steve Boone started Bevmo, Beverages and More. And I opened up the Santa Rosa store for them.
Wow.
And then I started getting phone calls from a gentleman named Daryl Satui, who goes by Dario Satui now.
Yes.
And I went to work for him in Napa Valley again. I went Napa Valley. And
that is a booming concern over there.
Yeah.
Visitui. Wow.
yeah, they just remodeled the place.
Talk
It's
about
amazing.
picnics.
Yeah, no
Yes.
kidding. No
yeah.
kidding.
Yeah, those are the
That's
huge
the
picnic areas.
Yes.
Picnic Central.
Yeah.
And one of the few places in Napa.
And that alone should prove to wineries how that is a golden ticket.
Well, when you think of wineries, if you think of like, okay, what would your ultimate experience be
Right.
in Provence or in
Right,
Italy?
right.
You'd want to bring food and sit in a
Yes,
vineyard
yes, yeah,
and
and
eat.
break some bread and just
Exactly.
exactly.
You have seen the sights, Damy. My God,
I mean,
you've
every
been
place
through
you mentioned,
every highlight
Right.
of any beverage industry. You've been there.
yeah.
Oh, yeah, spirits and all. Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
I mean, what
incredible.
a career. And so then after Visitui, then
Then I was hired on by Constellation, and I went to run Simi in Healdsburg, and so I was there for nearly 18 years.
yeah, that's where we first met. I
Yes.
mean, you were just the
You
staple.
don't
I
seem
can always
old
count on.
enough to have
That's
this
what I'm thinking. Like you've
career.
had this entire
Like, that
lifetime.
doesn't
How'd that
add
happen?
I did start in high school.
That's what I'm thinking.
Did you sleep in a hyperbaric chamber
Yeah.
or something? Like
I appreciate that. Thank you.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I'm sitting here thinking the same thing. How could you have done all
I'm-
those things?
All these, I'm thinking, wait a minute, he's there 10, 20, 30.
Yeah.
Wait, that's not happening. So you have been in all the big brands. Wow. So
Yes.
so then
Yeah.
from
Well, at Simi, actually, I
Simi.
did a few things. I ran Ravenswood as well
oh
for
boy.
a year, and I ran Hogue Cellars in Washington from Simi
Oh my
for
gosh.
3 years. So it was a fun experience, and I
Yeah.
learned a lot.
Wow.
Right. Yeah, that is a lot of action.
You could write your own course work
Ah,
for people coming up want to be in the beverage industry. I mean, that's incredible.
yeah, no, it was a fun ride, right? It
Yeah,
was-
for sure.
I would guess.
And now you're at Fopiano.
And now I'm at Foppiano, so I've worked at 3 very prominent Italian American wineries.
And will you have the name to support it?
That's right.
Definitely. Well, with the background that you have, you fit right in with the place that has so much action going on with all their remodeling and redoing, and then knowing the new owner from your past history is super helpful, I would think.
Yeah, we didn't even realize it. I just kind of noticed him when he
Yeah.
was first walking onto the property, and I said, "Aren't you Courtney?" And he said, "Yeah. How do I know you? You look familiar." And it all started from
Yeah,
there.
and you're like 110 years ago when I worked at.
Yeah, right. In my time machine. And do you live in the Healdsburg area?
I live in Windsor. Yes.
Oh, great. So
Yeah.
you're like right there.
Yeah, I'm right there. I'm 10 minutes away from the winery, and which means I've been working in Healdsburg area. Well, in Healdsburg for 23 years.
Yeah.
Wow.
Love the city.
That's great. So what are some of your highlights when you're not working? Where do you go and what do you do and what do you recommend? Like,
Yeah, our listeners want to know, what do we do if we come visit?
Sometimes I go wine tasting.
Do you?
Yeah, I love going to beer gardens.
nice.
It's a lot of fun. My children both live in the East Bay. One lives in Oakland and one's in Alameda, so I like to visit them. And my son lives right off the beach, and my daughter is in a high-rise luxury apartment.
Yeah.
So it's fun to go visit them. And
Yeah.
I grew up in Oakland,
Right.
so it's a wonderful just to see them. And my wife and I love going down to see them.
That's what I would do, but I'll require an airline trip. So
Well, that is, I mean, my wife and my wife has Spanish background and I have Italian background, and my mother and father were pregnant when they came to the United States with me, so I still have a lot of family in Italy. So we go to Spain and Italy, and we just recently went to France, and so we visit friends. It's fun. It's really beautiful.
oh my
what
gosh.
part of Italy is your family from?
Just south of Rome,
Oh,
a
nice.
little north of Naples.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I have a lot of family in Rome as well, and so it's great.
Yeah, you can't miss that. I have Sicilian relatives. So
Oh, wonderful! I've never been to Sicily, but I've just seen so many beautiful.
got to go. The wine is amazing, all those volcanic soils and it's just a really glorious place. Sicily's like nothing else.
Well, it's nice that you get to go often enough to stay connected to family.
Yes.
That you haven't lost touch and you just know you have relatives somewhere. It's like, no, you actually go.
Well, I have a childhood friend that we grew up together in Oakland, and he lives just outside of Rome, and we were texting this morning, so
Yeah.
it's fun,
Oh my gosh, that's fabulous. I love that. How fun.
Viva Familia.
So one thing I want to mention about Fopiano is that the Wine Road is this is the 50th anniversary for the Wine Road. I've said that 100 times now. Everyone is sick of hearing it, but
It's a big deal. Keep
it's a
saying
big
it.
deal. It's a big deal, and we are going to have one big kind of gala event, and it's going to be September 19th, and I'm super excited because it is going to be hosted at Fopiano. And they're one of the founding wineries of the Wine Road. So 50 years ago, they had the foresight to realize if we work collaboratively with other wineries in the area, maybe we can kind of get people to hear about wine country and get people to come here. So it's going to be exciting to host this event. And we're going to have music. There might be some dancing involved. There's going to be wine tasting. We're working with restaurants to have little tasty bites from the local restaurants available. There'll be a silent auction. And, it's going to be in the evening, so the sun will be setting.
50 years.
It's going to be beautiful.
That's great.
It's going to be fantastic.
And what a great venue.
I am so excited. I mean, I really am. I was saying to Marcy earlier that I was around for the 40th anniversary for the Wine Road, and we did something every single month. I mean, it was a really long year. And at the end of that year, I thought, oh, my God, I'm never doing this again. I'm definitely not going to be here for the 50th. And now it's the 50th.
In a blink of an eye.
And we've already had a committee meeting and talked about doing something every month. So
That's right.
if I live to tell about it, we're going to have a gala event on September 19th.
September 19th.
September 19th.
September 19th.
Yes. And we had talked about, and I have some friends in Washington, D.C. who are going to want to strangle me. So they can't reach me over the airwaves here because we had planned on doing this initially on the Friday of Wine and Food Affair. And that date did get changed to September 19th. But on the Wine and Food Affair Friday night, we will have a VIP event, so that we will do something extra special on that Friday night as well.
It's time for our Fast Five. Who do we have on the line now?
My name's Elena from Trioni Winery.
Oh,
Hi,
right on.
Elena.
Good to hear from you.
What's your Fast Five recipe?
Oh, yes. When I'm in a pinch, people are about to knock on the door. I might still have that front curler in. The best thing that I can present is going to be a classic Caprese salad.
Oh, nice.
You just slice your fresh mozzarella, those homegrown tomatoes, grab a little basil off your plant, because that's the best way for me to always have it available. We layer that out just like the Italian flag, the red, white, and green. You drizzle on top of that your balsamic vinegar. I love using Trioni's Primogento. Olive oil is beautiful for finishing on any type of food meal. And then, of course, we cannot forget that salt and pepper. That really will make the difference to me.
Yes.
A tomato, salted and not
Has to have
salted,
that. Yeah.
totally different.
It's like night and day.
Yes, exactly. It's a
Bad
must.
day.
Yeah,
And
but I
then do you
can't get
have a
enough.
little wine with that?
Ooh, yes.
Yes. What do we pair with this?
Honestly, one of my favorite pairings of that is a rosé. 'Cause I
Oh.
feel like it's a nice acidity to go with it. Because you do get a lot of acid from tomato, but I think my palate mostly gets the sweetness. So it's a nice balance
Yeah.
whenever I'm enjoying it.
That sounds great.
I love it.
We'll put that in the show notes.
Thank you for calling.
Thank you for calling.
so
Good to talk to you.
much.
Bye-bye. So anything else that people need to know about coming out to Fopiano if they come visit and what to expect? You talked about the tasting flights. I love that you can bring your family and that you can, bring your dogs. So many people. I do the web chat on our website on wineroad.com, and every day I get asked, where can I bring my dogs? If I come wine tasting. So
Yeah, you can bring your dog. We also, there's an interesting fact about the property, and hopefully it's true. But
well, say it with confidence, and we'll say yes.
well, Louis Foppiano, who still lives on the property, he told me that in his old office, which is now a little small tasting room, is where the Russian River Valley was named.
Oh, wow.
So,
I
and
think
it was
that's
verified.
believable. I think that seems
The
reasonable.
history runs deep.
Yeah.
Yeah, very deep.
Yes.
Yeah. And every time it's an event weekend, you drive by, your parking lot is packed.
Yeah.
Right.
It's a happening place.
Well, Healdsburg is a happening place. And so as soon as you leave town and you head out Old Redwood Highway, you're right there. So it's easy access coming and going. Just before you get to when you're still in town, out by the bridge, by the Russian River, there's a little collective of, 4 or 5 tasting rooms that people can go. They cross the bridge. They're at Foppiano. Keep going, turn on Limerick Lane. There's going to be Limerick Lane and Vizsla and Du Rosselli. So you have a nice little collection.
Yeah, we've got some great neighbors.
Yeah.
Even further down the road, we've got a sparkling house. So,
my gosh, yeah, J Vineyards. I should own it by now.
Right. Yeah, it's a great spot right between Windsor and Healdsburg.
Yeah.
There's about 14 wineries.
Right.
There's Miriam as well.
Yeah, and Rodney Strong is right there. Yeah, that's definitely a great little neighborhood. When I have people I talk to who are only going to be here for a day and they want, something close. They don't want, and I always tell people, don't pick 8 wineries that are all over the place. You don't want to spend the day driving. Just,
Right.
Go to one that you really love, and then whatever their neighbors are. And you have good neighbors.
Yeah, we do.
You're in a good
And
spot.
we're finding families like to spend more time at a winery now, too.
Definitely.
So it's, you're not going to hit 8 anymore. You're going to hit 3.
Yeah,
maybe.
exactly. That's what I tell people. Plan 3 and bring some lunch,
Yeah.
and you really enjoy the whole setting and where you're at. And
The last Wine Road event, Winter Wineland, I went to a couple places, and there were several families with babies, with dogs, spread out, doing the picnic with the
Right.
winery wine. And I hadn't seen that in a while, but
Right.
it seems like has become like a third space or a neutral space where families want to come and hang out. And I was like, wow, I want to sit down too. You
Yeah,
know?
Right.
I
It just
think
makes it
that's-
so inviting when you see all these people. They're enjoying themselves.
That's just the whole trend. I mean, it really is a big deal. I mean, you used to never see families coming to things like that. And even wine tasting was pretty few and far between. And
At first, I thought they were all together, but it was 3 separate groups,
Yeah.
and they all had like young babies
Right.
and dogs. So I guess it's that time when you just got to get out of the house.
everybody brings their
Right.
dogs everywhere now.
Yeah.
Father's Day, Mother's Day, those are
Yeah.
great times to
Yeah.
take
Nice.
your family out.
Absolutely.
Why not? We have a beautiful area, and people should enjoy it.
So now that you have that space, do you have a lot of things that you're planning as a winery, or do people, like you said, you could do like the concert, the symphony or whatever, but does the winery have events planned?
Yeah, so we're working on a sunset series for the spring and the fall. We haven't booked anything yet,
Yeah.
but that's definitely something we're going to promote heavily because the sunsets are beautiful. I mean, every night I sit out on the deck and have a glass of wine, a rosé or vermentino, and the sun just goes down right at 5 o'clock right now over the hills overlooking the west, and nearly every seat outside faces the west, so everybody gets that view.
Right. So you have a little music, and then can people rent the space for things?
Oh yeah, it's available.
So will
for
you do wedding kinds of things or not?
Yes,
it's
we
kind of
will
up
do
in the air.
weddings, and we have a great events person. Her name is Sarah, and she works at Martin Ray and Foppiano, and so she's in charge of the events. We've got a lobster boil coming up in July. We're looking at maybe doing a tri-tip day in June.
Nice.
So there's some fun things we'll be doing, and maybe a masquerade party because this year we're celebrating 100 years of The River Runs Red. When
Wow.
do you remember what The River
Yeah.
Runs Red? Right. So the feds raided us in 1926 and dumped 140,000 gallons of red wine into the creek, and then it went into the Russian River. So biohazard these days.
Well, yeah, I was saying, I don't think you'd be advising that.
Yeah. And then we're also celebrating our 130th anniversary as well.
That's spectacular.
Yeah, that's amazing. That's some history.
That's so cool.
It's funny. I used to live in Healdsburg. In the back of our backyard, it was kind of a raised deck. And under the deck, the land really sloped. There was a small culvert that ran the whole, 2 blocks of housing. And at the very end, there's this older Italian family that lived there. And I was out kind of weeding and working in the yard one day, and the whole culvert was filled with something red.
Oh, my gosh.
And I'm like, what is happening? Is this a sign of the end of the world? What's happening? It was no. Zeffiro, he had homemade wine and just dumped it.
Oh, boy.
I thought, okay, well, that's something new.
No good for a couple
Dogs were
months.
staggering
Yeah, everyone.
around.
I thought, okay, well, I have 4 little kids here, and probably not a great plan, but oh well.
That's funny.
It was a very old school system. Okay, so I think that's probably all we have to think about for now. I talked about the 50th anniversary, which I'm excited about. I do want to mention that because of the 50th anniversary, we do have something planned every month of the year. And so for April, and they're not all big things because I wouldn't have made it through. Some of them are very small things. So in April, we don't have an event on the calendar, but we have something fun lined up. So all month long, you will find big Wine Road 50th anniversary signs at every Wine Road winery and lodging. And here's the deal. We need you to stand in front of that little sign, snap a selfie with one of those, and post it on Instagram, either on the feed or on your story, and tag us at the Wine Road and use the hashtag WineRoad50. And then you'll be showing us some Wine Road love for our 50th anniversary, but you'll also be entered to win a ticket credit that will be good for any Wine Road event that you want to choose.
Oh, cool.
So we'll be picking 5 winners in May. So we hope that in April you get out and you get some selfies and you share it with us. In April, that is the passport to Dry Creek Valley. So there'll be a lot of people here for that. And if they're going out to some Wine Road member wineries out in Dry Creek, you'll see the signs, post the selfie, win some tickets. So that's the April event. So that's easy enough for us. And then in May, we will have a wine trail that's happening. It's a one-day event, and tickets are $50 per person. I think we have about 30 wineries that'll be signed up for that. So all the details for everything is at wineroad.com.
And Damy, the best way to reach you is the website for Fopiano. What would that be?
The website is www.fopiano.com.
Great. Well, we'll put that in the show notes so people can find you and come visit. Anything else, Beth?
I think that's it. I almost always have something else, but I think
I know.
That was all my
Like,
something
what
else.
happened?
I remembered the April thing. We have a PR person who said, don't forget to tell people about the selfie.
Yeah.
I don't want to be in trouble with Misty, so I did a good job there. And then the wine trail in May, and that's kind of it.
Sounds good.
Thanks for coming. It's so great to see you, Damy.
It's great to see you guys and hang out. Thank you very
Wonderful
much.
to have you. We'll see you on the Wine Road.
Thanks. Bye-bye.
Bye.